So welcome dear devotees with our morning Srimad Bhagavatam session. Today is the second day of Damodar month, 8th of October. We are reading from Canto 1, chapter number 9. The name of the chapter is The Passing Away of Bhishma Deva. We have covered up to text 42. Today we will be beginning from text number 43. Any recap points from yesterday? What we learned? Any important learning points?
Prabhuji, thank you, Shamaji. We talked about envy, and envy in terms of a devotee is seen as NV, no vacancy. So in the life of a devotee, there is no vacancy for envy.
Thank you so much. Yes, we saw the difference between jealousy and enviousness as well. And envy is the thing which we can't use in Krishna's service. So that has no vacancy. Easy to remember, envy. So no vacancy in devotee's life because we can't use in Krishna's service. Jealousy means if I have something, or if someone has a better car or a better house or something, I also want. So like looking at that person, I also want. But envy means if I can't have it, you also shouldn't have it, and that is enviousness. That is going down. Jealousy, it's still okay because it's I also want it. It's taking us a little bit more motivational side. I also want it, but enviousness is putting the other person down. That's why we saw enviousness has no vacancy in the life of devotees. Thank you so much, Vimal Prabhu. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we saw two levels of devotees. The first is Kanishta Adhikari, which is like Main or Mera Bhagwan, like he's only concerned with worshipping the deity, but he doesn't respect the devotees. But in the other case, when he gets a little bit advanced in devotion and he starts respecting other devotees. So we saw that the Krishna is pleased when we respect devotees. We love devotees. So he's more pleased with that.
Very important lesson. Neophyte devotees and little bit advanced devotees. Kanishta Adhikari or Madhyama Adhikari. There are two different levels of devotees. And when one progresses in bhakti, he starts respecting devotees more and more. Actually, the level of devotee, we can determine how, because based on his relationship with other devotees. That's how we can find out. Kanishta, Madhyama, the third level is Uttama Adhikari. Uttama Adhikari, he sees everyone as part and parcel. Samdarshina, he sees everyone as part and parcel of Lord. Madhyama is the level recommended for us. Uttama is very high platform. Okay, and what was the storyline happening? Where we are?
Prabhuji, Bhishma prayers have finished, and Bhishma Dev has stopped his prayers and now he's concentrating on the Lord 100%. And everybody is standing there, Yudhishthir and Pandavas, and Lord Krishna is standing there.
Very good, yes. Bhishma Dev is lying on the bed of arrows at the battlefield. Krishna, Pandavas, Rishis, Dhaumya, Vyasa, all the sages have assembled, even demigods. They all come to witness the glorious departure of Bhishma Dev. While lying on the bed of arrows, Bhishma welcomes all of them and he offers his prayers. So Bhishma Stuti we saw, and just yesterday we ended the Bhishma prayers, and now how finally, now he is speaking, he's offering prayers, but now we will see today how finally he leaves the soul, or he leaves the body and enters into the spiritual realm, Vaikuntha, transcendental planet of Krishna. Let's see. All right, any other points, or can we begin? I was thinking, yes, sorry, go on. Someone said.
Sorry, Prabhuji, that was me. Hare Krishna. Sorry for interrupting. We very beautifully understood the story of Barbaric and how his goal of dharma was, Krishna's goal of establishing dharma was more superior than the establishing dharma of Barbaric's goal was establishing dharma, and how it is important for us to understand that dharma not necessarily mean in that particular situation that whatever you're on the right side always. And then we also understood the story of Shishupal, how he was 99 times he continued to blaspheme Lord Krishna, and then eventually ended up continuing and he lost his track and continuing to blaspheme. So that's where we were yesterday.
Thank you so much. Yes, Barbaric was showing compassion. Compassion, some truthfulness, lot of good qualities are there, but Krishna's desire has always highest priority. Other things come lower. Even I remember one instance when Srila Prabhupada went into America, and he was in New York, and he was along with all the junkies, hippies, drug addicts, and LSD was the drug people used to take those days. And someone asked that, how is, what was the exact question? How is Krishna, or how is like the feeling with associating or serving with Krishna? And Srila Prabhupada replied, Krishna is like the ocean of LSD drug. Krishna is like the ocean of LSD. They are the drug addicts. So for them to understand in their level, Prabhupada said Krishna is like an ocean of LSD drugs. And now this quote is not mentioned in Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, but to make someone understand about Krishna according to that person's level, Srila Prabhupada used like this. So to make someone understand, that is the highest superior. Now at that time, Prabhupada says some verses from Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, that person may not be able to understand. So yeah, Krishna has always the highest, topmost priority. Thank you so much. All right, let's begin with text number 43. Sutta uvacha Krishna evam bhagavati mano vagdrishti vrittibhi atmani atmanam aveshya so antah swasa uparamat. All right, let's see who wants to read. Preeti, you want to read after a long time?
Hare Krishna. Sutta Goswami said, thus Bhishmadeva merged himself in the Super Soul, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight, and action, and thus he became silent and his breathing stopped.
So here, thank you so much. What's happening? Bhishma, Sutta Goswami is speaking now. Bhishma was speaking in the Bhishma Stuti, all the previous pairs. Now Sutta Goswami is speaking. That Bhishma Dev merged himself in the Super Soul, Lord Krishna. When it says merged into Super Soul on Krishna, that means he was completely absorbed. Merging doesn't mean like merging of the light. Some spiritual groups say we merge into the transcendental effulgent light. But here, merging means, very clearly Prabhupada explains, merging means Bhishma Dev absorbed completely with mind, speech, sight, actions, everything. He merged into the complete absorption of Krishna. And thus, he became very silent and he stopped breathing. He stopped breathing means he is departing. Now with how? Complete absorption of Krishna with his mind, speech, sight, actions, everything. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that Bhishma Dev achieved very high destination. What Bhishma Dev achieved, thinking about Krishna, complete absorption in Krishna at the time of death, that is a very, very high destination. That is the perfection of human form of life. And whatever achievement Bhishma Dev got of completely absorbing in Krishna while Krishna was standing in front of him, a devotee can also achieve that destination. All of us Krishna was present in a personal form standing in front of Bhishma Dev. Krishna may not be present in front of us standing while we are passing. But Srila Prabhupada writes that whatever opportunity Bhishma Dev got, whatever achievement Bhishma got, we also have same opportunity. How? In Bhishma's case, Krishna was present. In our case, Krishna is present as a sound vibration in his sound incarnation. Prabhupada writes that in the purport, that in the sound incarnation form of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, we can be completely absorbed in Krishna. And even when we are leaving this body, at the time of departure, we can also have complete absorption in mind, speech, sight, and actions, just like how Bhishma Dev was completely absorbed. Prabhupada explains the 9 principal devotional services: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. Srila Prabhupada explains the 9 principal devotional services, and he mentions in that out of all these 9 devotional services, they are all equally potent. Any one of the devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, worshipping the deities, Dasyam, Sakhyam, serving the Lord, Atma Nivedana, fully surrender. So out of all these 9 devotional service, even if one performs any one of them completely, he can achieve this success. And out of these 9, Srila Prabhupada explains that hearing is the most important of all. Hearing Bhagavad Gita, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, very, very important. And how to hear? With rapt attention. That is very important. With attention means the candidate who was very serious. Prabhupada writes, the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, to hear it very attentively, very seriously, that is demanded from the devotees. And then only a devotee will get this complete absorption. ऐसे ही कभी कभी सुन लिया, just for the sake of hearing and not thinking about it, then it will not help. We have to seriously study the scriptures. That's why there are these Bhagavatam courses are there. Bhakti Shastri is there for Bhagavad Gita. Serious study of scriptures, and that will enable us to have complete absorption. Serious study means when we start relating our daily experiences, our life situations, and we look at through the eyes, to the glasses of the scriptures. Kuch hota hai, some situations we come and then we start comparing, relating from the scriptures. Oh, Krishna made here this point, and that I can see in my life. Even we can practically apply in our own life. For example, we have studied many qualities from this particular story or section of Srimad Bhagavatam, quality of gratefulness. So we hear so many times quality of gratefulness. We have to be grateful. The one who is not grateful is a great fool. It is the attitude of gratitude which decides the altitude of a devotee. We have done so many times all these quotes and gratefulness. But serious study means applying in our own life. How much grateful we are to the devotees, how much gratefulness not only in our heart, but we are putting in our words and actions. Very simple example, we go for prasadam sometimes to some devotee's house. Who made this sabji? Who made this? It's really nice, very nicely done. It's yummy, it's good. Just a simple act of gratefulness. Bhakti Vriksha, so many Matajis are cooking, so many person doing lot of services. It's the act of gratefulness. Thank you, Prabhuji, for setting up the mic. Thank you for helping in the cleaning. Thank you for helping in the dishwashing. Thank you very much. Who made this dal or rice? It's very nice, yummy. It's and not fake, sincere from the heart. It should come. That thank you so much. They are serving even with the kids. The children can practice. Mother cooks something, kha liya fatafat. Mother would have spent half an hour, 1 hour thinking, cutting veggies, cooking. Just a simple act. Oh, very nice, yummy dinner tonight, mommy. How happy we feel when someone is grateful. Humbleness. Of course, haath jod ke sar jhukana, it's so easy. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, आप तो महान हो, मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं हूँ. So many devotees speak, but अंदर से तो मैं ही महान हूँ, तुम कुछ नहीं. That's what people think from inside. But outside, oh प्रभु जी, I am nothing. I am most fallen. Prabhupada said once, one devotee goes to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I am most fallen. And Prabhupada said, you are most nothing. अपने आप को इतना महान मत समझोगे, you are most fallen. You are most nothing, Prabhupada said. So we have to, um, actually, one devotee I remember in Delhi, he goes to his spiritual master and he said, Maharaj, today I fall down. मैं गिर गया आज, मैंने कुछ खराब काम कर दिया. Today I fell down. And Maharaj said, from where? You were already fallen down. उससे नीचे ही हो तुम. अपने आप को ऊपर मत समझो कि you are somewhere high position and then you fall down. Maharaj said, from where? You are already down. So when we study this Srimad Bhagavatam Bhagavad Gita, the serious study, that means practical application, is very, very important. I will tell you my personal example. Yesterday I discussed Shishupal story and I was meditating on this. Of course, the time was not enough, so I didn't mention in details. But Shishupal story, what happens, Krishna, Shishupal is talking bad about Krishna so many times, multiple times, not only in that Rajasuya sacrifice ceremony, but before also hundreds of times Krishna forgives. And even in that particular instance, he goes on talking bad about Krishna, but Krishna just tolerates. Now, how many faults Krishna has? Who can tell me? How many faults Krishna has?
None.
Krishna has no faults, but this Shishupal is talking bad, bad one by one, pointing out at the faults of Krishna, but Krishna is just listening. Now, if we compare to our own self, how many faults we have? At least I know by myself, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of faults I have. I know I am not a perfect person, but if someone says something to correct us, something bad about us, पर्सन, आप देख लो, बच्चों को, कलीग को, फ्रेंड को, पार्टनर को, इवन भक्ति वृक्षा मेंबर को, इफ यू स्टार्ट करेक्टिंग, एक लाइन भी बोला आपने कि हाउ, व्हाई डिडंट यू डू दिस, व्हाई यू शुडंट हैव डन लाइक दिस, इमीडिएटली उनका नरसिम्हा रूप आए, उग्रम वीरम ज्वलंतम, नरसिम्हम भीषणम भद्रम मृत्युम मृत्युम नमाम्यहम. वो नरसिम्हा रूप एकदम से इनकारनेट कर जाएगा और बोले, आई डिडंट डू दिस, इट वाज नॉट माय फॉल्ट, बिकॉज दैट पर्सन डिड दैट, दैट्स व्हाई आई एम डूइंग दिस, डोंट टेल मी, आई एम नॉट yet at fault. If you want to tell that person, because you didn't tell me like this. एकदम से person will get angry. Try it out. I can tell you honestly, I have everyday experience. Staff को business में कुछ बोल दिया, घर पे किसी को बोल दिया, भक्ति वृक्षा member को बोल दिया, anyone you ask anything, don't talk to me like this. Don't tell me. I am not at fault. See, this is the serious study of the scriptures. We can apply in our life. Krishna had no fault, but Shishupal bolta hai, Krishna is listening. Krishna is not, arguing back. He's listening, tolerating. And हमें कोई एक भी चीज बता देता है. Actually, if someone is pointing out our fault, we should be very grateful. Thank you so much for correcting me. Now I will make sure I will not make this mistake. पूरा heart transformation हो जाता है. Thank you so much for correcting me. It was my mistake. You pointed out. Very good. It is a very high philosophy, dear devotees. It's practically apply this. कोई हमें कुछ correct करता है, and to accept that. The first thing is people don't accept. नहीं, it was not my fault. Why should I apologize? It happens with the kids a lot, teenagers. Why should I apologize? Why should I sorry? It was not my fault. It was his fault. That person's fault. People say like that. So many learning points from this. The thing what we have to learn from this, pastimes, we have to develop the attitude, of applying the principles in our everyday life. That is more important. That is called serious study, and that is what help us to completely absorb in Krishna. Let's move to the next one. 44. Sampadyamanam agnaya Bhishmam brahmani nishkale sarve babuste tusnim vyayam Dinatyaye. Padma Mataji, you want to read English translation for me? From America. You can unmute and say.
Oh, it's me, Hare Krishna. Knowing that Bhishma Deva had merged into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute, all present there became silent like birds at the end of the day. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you so much. So knowing that Bhishma Dev has merged into the unlimited eternity, Bhishma Dev left his body, departed to the spiritual world. Everyone who they were present there, they became silent, just like the birds become silent at the end of the day. Here, it is mentioned that Bhishma Dev received the destination which in a planet where Krishna is present as a Parthasarthi form. In a spiritual world, Vaikuntha planets, there are different destinations. Golok Vrindavan is one destination. Like that, there are different planets. Just like in our solar system, there are different planets, different destinations. In the spiritual world also, there are multiple different destinations. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport very nicely that the yogis and gnanis, they also achieve the spiritual destination, but that is a Brahma Jyoti. That is the effulgent light, Brahma Jyoti, the light coming from the spiritual world, from the body of Krishna. There is an effulgence light, and the Jnanis and Yogis, they achieve that destination of Brahma Jyoti. But on top of that, there are Vaikuntha planets in which, for example, if someone is attached to Lord Sri Ram, there is a Ayodhya Dham in Vaikuntha planet. So that person will go to the Ayodhya Dham where Lord Ram is presiding deity there. Lord Ram is there. If someone is attached to Krishna in a Dwarika form, then there is a Dwarka Dham in the spiritual world where a person, after departing from this world, he will go there. There is a Narsimha Dev, there is a Dham where in the spiritual planet, Vaikuntha planet, there is a place where Narsimha Dev is there eternally. So a person who is attached to Narsimha Dev, he will go to that particular planet. And just like that, there is Golok Vrindavan is also there. So here it is mentioned, Bhishma Dev achieved a planet where Krishna is eternally there, present in the Parthasarthi form, because that was his mood of worshipping Krishna in a Parthasarthi form. So that's why Bhishma Dev reached that destination. Our aim as a devotee is to reach to Golok Vrindavan Dham. Why Golok Vrindavan Dham? Because that is the topmost, highest reciprocation of rasas, exchanges for devotees, because that is a Madhurya Dham. Madhurya Dham means there is Golok Vrindavan Dham, there is loving exchange of devotees. See, Dwarika, Krishna is like a king. He's sitting on a throne, he's like a king. There is lot of opulences. So you can imagine Ambani or Adani, Ambani sitting in an office with all these opulences. But Ambani, the big richest person at home, like a family member. And there is loving exchanges between the family member of that person. So Golok Vrindavan Dham is a Madhurya Dham. There is a love is in the center. The bhava is different. And that's why our destination, our goal is to go to Golok Vrindavan Dham. So this is what mentioned in Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Let's move to 45. Tatra dundu bhayo ne durdeva manava vadita sasamshu sadhavo ragnam Khatpetu pushpa vrishtayaha. Shweta Mataji, you want to read English translation?
Hare Krishna. Therefore, both men and demigods sounded drums in honor, and the honest royal order commenced demonstrations of honor and respect, and from the sky fell showers of flowers.
From the sky fell showers of flowers. That means demigods were also showering flowers at this auspicious occasion. Bhishma Dev was not only famous in this world amongst the human beings, but he was famous. He was well known for his devotion and for his service amongst the demigods as well. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that this interplanetary travel was available hundreds, thousands of years back as well. Here, especially this particular situation is 5,000 years back. And interplanetary travel, the demigods used to come to this earthly planet. It was very normal. Nowadays, by recent scientific spacecraft inventions and researches, they try to go to the moon, they try to go to the Mars, they send some spacecraft, and sometimes they try to bring some things like a dust or samples, metals from moon to here. So this exchange of the material from here to here, they are trying now. But here Prabhupada saying, showering flowers, demigod comings to this planet, interplanetary travel was normal before. It was happening before also. Passing away of Bhishmadev is so glorious because he lived a glorious life as a devotee serving Krishna. So his life is glorious, his departure is also glorious. And Srila Prabhupada explains that this is celebrated. Like, see how the flowers are falling from the sky. That means his departure is celebrated because the devotees are going to the spiritual world, and that's why it's celebrated. Srila Prabhupada writes that only devotees' departure should be glorified. Sometimes he uses the word Jayanti. There are different Jayanti. We say it's a Narsimha Jayanti, or devotional Jayanti should be celebrated. But appearance or disappearance of any other material person should not be celebrated. Here, it is celebrated by Bhishma because he was a glorious devotee. So Prabhupada writes that appearance or disappearance of the devotees, Vaishnava Acharyas, must be celebrated, but appearance and disappearance of the material person should not be celebrated. Srila Prabhupada's slide, just pointing it out, the difference between the material passing away and the spiritual passing away. Text number 46. Tasya nirharanadini samparetasya bhargava yudhishthira karayitva muhurtam dukhito abhavet. Aruna Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna everyone. O descendant of Bhragu, Shaunaka, after performing funeral rituals for the dead body of Bhishma Dev, Maharaj Yudhishthira was momentarily overtaken with grief. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. So, after performing the funeral rituals of the dead body, of the Bhishma Dev, Maharaj Yudhishthira was momentarily overtaken with grief. So, Bhishma Dev was a affectionate grandfather for everyone. When King Pandu died, Bhishma was having this great affection towards all the Pandavas as a grandfather. We know that Dhritarashtra was more loving his 100 sons. Dhritarashtra loved his sons. And because of that, so much injustice was happening for the Pandavas. But it was the affection of Bhishma Dev, that was Pandavas were being taken care of. Prabhupada writes in the purport here that so many injustices were happening to Pandavas, and Bhishma Dev had the boon to die at his own will. Bhishma could have died earlier looking at all these injustices to the Pandavas. Lot of bad things were happening to Pandavas, and Bhishma Dev could, because he had Ichha Murtyu, he can die at his own will. He could have died earlier, but Bhishma Dev knew that one day Pandavas will become victorious. One day they will become victorious, they will become king because they are righteous. And he was waiting for this moment. And here, when we see that Yudhishthira Maharaj was established as a throne, and then he leaves his body very happily. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was the oldest, he was the eldest amongst the Pandavas. So that's why it is said Yudhishthira Maharaj performed the funeral rites, the rituals for Bhishma Dev. Let's move to the next one, 47. Sorry, I'm rushing a little, but I want to complete the chapter today. Only 2 more verses left. Tustuburmunayorishta Krishnam Tadguhya Namabe Tataste Krishna Hridaya Swashraman Prayayuh Puna. Sonal Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu, I'll read. Sorry. Hare Krishna. Text 47. All the great sages that glorified Lord Sri Krishna, who was present there by confidential Vedic hymns, then all of them returned to their respective hermitages, bearing always Lord Krishna within their hearts.
Thank you. So here, everyone who was present there. So Bhishmadev departed, flower, from the sky, the flowers are falling, and all the sages, they don't go back to their respective places and the hermitages or the planets or wherever. All the greats, what they do, the sages, because Lord Krishna was present, they take the opportunity to glorify Krishna. Here you see, everyone is glorifying Krishna. All the sages headed by Vyasas, Rishis, they all came from Bhishma's departure. But now, before they leave, they are glorifying Krishna. What do we learn from this? That we should also not miss a moment to glorify Lord. And glorification of his devotees as well. We saw how Vishwadev, he was glorifying Lord Shri Krishna, and then he started glorifying gopis of Vrindavan as well, devotees of Lord. So here, very important learning point for us. Wherever there is possible, we don't have to wait for the Pandal program or big katha to happen. Wherever there is possible, we can glorify Krishna, glorify his devotees, especially Srila Prabhupada. कोई आधी रात को हम नींद से भी उठा के रात को 2 बजे बोले, what do you know about Prabhupada? फटाफट 10-20 lines should come in our mind. Oh, he traveled at the old age, he took a lot of effort for us, he spreaded the Hare Krishna mantra all around the world to the Western speaking, English speaking countries. He gone through so much of trouble for all of us. He translated the books a whole night. कभी प्रभुपाद के बारे में glorify करना है, we don't need to prepare. But our life should be dedicated to Srila Prabhupada and the devotees. Glorification should come. Appreciation should come for the Bhakti Vriksha members, for the devotees. Yesterday, only one devotee, I will not mention the name, but one person from our group called me and said, thank you so much, Prabhuji. So nice. The classes and the learning points and everything. This is appreciation. This is gratefulness. And not because I like to be glorified, not because I want to be appreciated, but when someone says that, it's appreciating Srila Prabhupada. Because what I do here, sitting here, is I just repeat the words of Prabhupada and his disciples. All the things which is mentioned in the purport, I just summarize. So when someone is appreciating, that means they are glorifying Prabhupada. And then when they are glorifying Prabhupada, Lord Krishna is pleased. So this is very important learning points, that here all the sages and rishis, they are glorifying Krishna. Text number 48. Tato yudhishthiro gatva saha krishno gajavayam pitaram santavayam asha gandharim cha tapasvinim. Harshit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thereafter, Maharaj Yudhishthir at once went to his capital, Hastinapur, accompanied by Lord Sri Krishna, and there he consoled his uncle and aunt Gandhari, who was an ascetic.
So Maharaj Yudhishthir, what does he do after performing the final rituals for Bhishmadev? He goes to Hastinapur and then he consoles the uncle and aunt, Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. You see, very, very important. Listen, the Gandhar is, Dhritarashtra and Gandhar is there, 100 sons are killed. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that they suffered the shock of wholesale killing. Prabhupada writes, wholesale killing, 100 sons are killed. And on top of that, Bhishma is departed now. So they are sad, they are obviously morose. 100 sons are killed, Bhishma Dev is departing. So Yudhishthir Maharaj goes to Hastinapur to look after them. Here it is mentioned Gandhari was tapasvi. She was doing very much austerity, tapasya, sacrifice. Why? Because her whole life is like that. she blindfolded herself because the husband couldn't see. She blindfolded herself. We have to understand, आज के जमाने में कौन ऐसा करेगा? If a husband can't see, the wife will put the cloth on her eyes. It's a very different age. But the learning point from this verse for us, which we can apply today, is Yudhishthir Maharaj is not keeping any grudge in the heart. इसने ऐसा किया था, इसने मेरे साथ ऐसा किया था, हम पांडवास के साथ he did like this, he didn't stop the Draupadi's disrobing. No grudge in the heart. Forget and forgive principle. In this verse, we learn forget and forgive principle. No grudges in the heart. Kuch, we forget and we forgive. It is said, dear devotees, very important lesson, that when we are dealing with devotees, they may have done 100 bad things, but if there is one thing they have done good, we should remember that. We should remember one good thing what a devotee does and always glorify that, always keep in mind about that, and always keep ourselves absorbed in one good thing. And that particular devotee may have done 100 bad things, but we forget and forgive. And in the same way, on the other side, if we have done one bad thing to someone, we have to remember that and we have to correct ourselves and we have to make sure we don't repeat that mistake again. And we may have done 100 good things for someone, but we have to forget that. So both the ways, if someone has done good to us, we have to remember. If someone has done bad to us, we have to forget this. But if we have done something bad to them, we have to remember. And if we have done something good, we have to forget. So this is called the forget and forgive principle, which we learn from this particular verse. This way, we can have peacefulness in the heart. And when their heart is peaceful, no grudges, no complaining, no taking revenge, then we can worship Krishna nicely. The last verse for this chapter, 49. Pitra chanumato raja vasudevānumodita chakara rajyam dharmena pitra paitamaham vibhu. Satish Prabhu, if you can read, if I can request you, please.
Sure. Yeah. Hare Krishna, everyone. After this, the great religious king, Maharaj Yudhishthira, executed the royal power in the kingdom strictly according to the codes and royal principles approved by his uncle and confirmed by Lord Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So here what happens after this? Yudhishthira Maharaj becomes the king. He rules the word given. He rules the word given by the codes of Bhishma Dev, by the principles guided by Krishna, approved by Krishna, and he rules the world. And he is always looking after the welfare of all the citizens. Srila Prabhupada writes how an ideal king should rule the kingdom. What are the ideal ministers? Not only they look all the decisions and policies based on the social, political, economical, but they make sure the spiritual advancement is also taken care of all the citizens. Prabhupada writes here that he was not a tax collector. The ministers or the government, they are tax collectors in today's society. But Prabhupada writes, Yudhishthira Maharaj was an ideal king. Read the purport. So many beautiful points Prabhupada write how an ideal ruler, the king should be or the minister should be, where everything is taken care along with the spiritual side of all the citizens as well. Very important. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, the passing away of Bhishmadev in the presence of Lord Krishna. Thank you. Congratulations, devotees. We will begin chapter number 10 tomorrow. Little bit shorter chapter, but very beautiful. Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarika. All right, I will pause here. Any one or two questions I can take?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. There isn't any question as such, but a very humble request. Sneha's sister is hospitalized in India, and I think she is in a critical condition. So please pray for her. Hare Krishna Prabhu. So we just got the news while reading the Bhagavatam. So I thought I'll just log in and let you know. Please, it's Kartik Mas. when you're doing Deepdan, please pray for her. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you so much for letting us know. We can dedicate this whole Srimad Bhagavatam today's reading for as a prayer, and hopefully Krishna will shower mercy soon. Thank you, dear devotees. I was thinking that because it's Damodar month, we can write in the group, if you feel comfortable, just one learning point, one line. Don't write the essays, but one line, takeaway point or learning point from today. Become humble, become gratefulness, serious study of the scriptures. Some things like that from today's session. Just write one line in the group, and if you are first, it's better because you don't want to copy. It has to be unique from the previous person. So try it out, everyone. And Radhika Mataji, you can maybe shorten your summary a little bit so that everyone gets also an opportunity to write one line. Let's try it out today. If it goes good, we will do some other day as well. Thank you.